Hey everyone, Casey here, bringing you another Lake of the Ozarks fishing report. It's January 5th. Water temperature is about 45 degrees throughout most of the lake. The water is clear and the fish are biting. Whether you're targeting crappies, white bass, or largemouth, even hybrids, they're all biting throughout the lake, and fishing has been really good. We've got some really good days coming up in the next couple weeks to get out there on the water, which is kind of rare for this time of year, especially in January. Getting some of these nice days can be a struggle. So fish are biting, typical wintertime. Lures are working. Water is extremely clear in a lot of areas, especially here on the lower end of the lake. Water is low, maybe just 2 feet low, so not crazy. You can use most of the boat ramps here on the lake, so navigation's easy as well. But the fish are biting. They're utilizing these nice days that we've been having, and they're feeding up. They're getting ready for winter, and winter's here. But these fish are fat. They're healthy. We fished a little tournament yesterday, and it was a no A-rig tournament. So we threw a stick bait most of the day. We caught a limit of crappie. We caught 20 white bass probably, and we probably caught a dozen keeper largemouth bass. We only weighed in 13 and a half pounds. It took 17 to win, so weights were a little bit lighter yesterday for some reason. Probably cold morning. Fish were down a little deeper, so the Alabama rig wasn't a player yesterday since we weren't able to throw it. But overall, fishing was fantastic for every species we targeted, and even the species we didn't target. But fishing's been good. No matter what you're doing out here on the lake, fishing's been good. And we're sitting here in my brand new Nitro boat. Just picked it up a couple weeks ago, got it broke in, and we're getting it ready for the new year here. So we've got a lot of big tournaments coming up. Got the Bassmaster Classic coming up in March. Just got done practicing for that. And it's going to be a fun event. I'm looking forward to it. I like what I saw up there in Tennessee. So looking forward to that in March. Going to fish the Bassmaster Opens again. And we're going to do a ton of guiding here at the lake. So we've been booking a lot of trips already. So if you got some dates in mind, May, June, April, all some of my favorite months to guide. So give me a call, get your trip on the books, get it scheduled. That way we can go out and have some fun, catch some fish. I get a lot of phone calls last minute, and I try to stay pretty busy. So lately, the last minute stuff has been hard to book at times. So give me a call, give me a few weeks notice, and we'll put you on the schedule and get out there and catch some fish. So a few different patterns working right now. Between the crappies and the bass go. So most of the crappies, we'll start with them. Most of the crappies are suspended around big docks and over the top of open water and brush piles. So a lot of them are really high up in the water column. They're grouped up to where you can really see them on whether it's the Garmin Live Scope or you're utilizing some other 2D or side scan, whatever it is. You can, if you got electronics on your boat, you can go out and find those fish. If you don't have electronics on your boat, it's still not that hard to find them. Look for a big dock, look for a condo dock, and those fish are going to be around those docks. They've been a lot of fish around wave breaks as well. Both white bass and crappie have been out there, and we've been catching some really big crappie. Anywhere from 10 to 14 inches has been, your normal size. That was kind of the deal last year. I mean, we had so many trips last year where we limited out in the spring, and I don't think we kept one under 12 inches. There just wasn't, we didn't catch any fish to keep under 12 inches. They were all those nicer quality fish. So experiencing a lot of that, especially on the jerkbait. So I've been jerkbaiting some of these fish in open water and over the top of brush while I'm bass fishing. That's how pretty much we've been catching them. But seeing a ton on the screen. They're active. So jerkbaits, your little baby shad or Bobby Garland, baby shad from Bass Pro Shops, real similar to a Bobby Garland, except it's a little bit more sturdy, has a better tail action because it's a little bit stiffer tail, and so you don't get those bent, crooked tails. Awesome bait. So 1/16 ounce, 1/8 ounce jig heads, You can throw in a small 2 to 3 inch swim bait in there as well, cover some water. But small swim bait, you know, your baby shad from Bass Pro Shops on a 16th ounce jig head, and then your jerkbait, and you can catch a bunch of fish. Just look for big shady docks, secondary points, main lake points, condo docks, awesome places to start your search. Largemouth bass, spotted bass, been catching some huge spots lately too, but same deal as always in the wintertime. The arsenal gets a little bit smaller, which I like. You don't have to prepare quite as much for a day of fishing, but you got some crankbaits working. This one right here is a rock crawler on my Bass Pro Shops crank and stick, 12-pound fluorocarbon, Bass Pro Shops fluorocarbon. Got number 5 Hayabusa hooks on there. I always change the hooks out on a crankbait so you can catch more fish. Those Hayabusa TBL 930s with that NRB code on them, sharpest hooks you can get. They're deadly sharp, and you're going to catch more fish using them. That is guaranteed. So that's been a good pattern. A little bit warmer water, windy days, fish are up shallow, closer to the bank. You can cover some water, catch a bunch of fish. The jig, this is Bass Pro Shops finesse football jig, I believe. Awesome little jig. This one is, I believe, like a 7/8 ounce, pretty heavy. Gets down there to the bottom, nice and quick, and has a real small profile. And that's kind of what you want this time of year. You want a smaller profile on your jigs. Anywhere from 5/16 to probably a little over a 1/2 ounce is probably, you know, the size range that I'm going with most of the time. I'm lightening up my rod. I'm using a 7'2" medium heavy Johnny Morris Signature Series, and I've got like 14-pound line instead of my typical 20-pound line. I want that bait, you know, to be a little bit more natural, have better action, get to the bottom a little bit faster, especially when I'm using these little bit lighter jigs. But that's a deadly combo down here. Green pumpkin orange, green pumpkin purple, brown, anything that kind of resembles a crawfish, and you're going to get some bites. So those 2 lures are awesome. My number 1 bait this time of year, absolutely and we caught everything on it yesterday. White bass, crappies, largemouth, spotted bass, you name it. And that's the jerkbait. So lots of different brands will work. This is the Bass Pro Shops stare down jerkbait. They have a lot of good colors. It's a great jerkbait. It stays really steady in the water column, or neutral, I should say. It sits there. It suspends. It's a true suspender. You know, I put the TBL 930s on all of my baits, and you know, I've got a Mega Bass tied on right here. Love a Mega Bass jerkbait. Again, awesome colors, good action, has good sound, casts good. But that bait will tend to sink a little bit. It's a lot more fragile, a lot more sensitive. You know, I beat it up a little bit. I changed the hooks out on it, maybe switch the line, and it does different things. And sometimes that's a benefit. You know, if the fish are down deeper, I can sink that bait down there, get it down to them a little bit. But like yesterday, they wanted that bait sitting above them, and they wanted to come up to it, and I had to present it to them really slow to kind of entice them, especially since we didn't have any wind. I think I really had to entice them into biting it on that Garmin Live Scope. And so that bait sat right above their heads, and when I wanted it to move, it moved. Again, it casts good, has great sound, and they're really affordable and durable. So check these out. They get bit. Great little bait, especially if you want, you know, some real control out of your jerkbait. So I had 3 of them tied on yesterday, several different colors, couple different brands, and they were all doing a little bit different things. So when you want a really neutral jerkbait, check that out, because you can put different hooks, line sizes, everything on it, and it has the same action. So really awesome bait. The XPS line of products just keeps getting better. I've been throwing a little flat side crankbait around. It's their XPS flat sider, another really good cold water crankbait. So jerkbait colors, anything will work, to be honest. I mean, I saw a bunch of different baits tied on yesterday. I had several different colors, from chrome to you know, something with a white color palette, to something translucent like this Pro Blue. had chartreuse colors on, and guess what? I caught them on all of them. So find a confidence bait, find something that you like, and then have a couple options. If the fish come up, show themselves, don't eat the bait, and I'll switch it up and throw something else on them. So we've got jig, crankbaits, jerkbait, and then of course the Alabama rig. The Alabama rig is always a player this time of year, and it's no exception. It's playing right now. Yesterday we fished a tournament. Fish were down a little bit lower. I think we caught a ton of fish, but only had 13 and a half pounds. And the winner only had, I think, just under 17. So day before, similar weather conditions, not a lot of wind, 23 pounds, almost 24, I think, to win with the Alabama rig. So fish are biting, they're big, they're healthy right now. It's a great time to get to the lake. People are starting to book guide trips already. And I encourage that. I've got the Bassmaster Classic coming up this year, and I'm fishing the Bassmaster Opens. But I've got a lot of time to do some guided trips, and I stay pretty busy. So sometimes those last minute phone calls, I'm not going to be able to do them like I used to. So call me a couple weeks in advance. We'll put your trip on the schedule, and we'll go out there and catch a bunch of fish. We've got some really nice weather coming up the next few weeks. Don't have a whole lot on the calendar as far as guide trips go the next couple weeks. So if you wanted to get out there, you can always contact me, and we'll go out fishing, catch a few fish, have some fun, and exchange a few laughs. So that's what it's all about. Fish are biting like crazy. I don't think we talked about the white bass, but basically look for birds, get in the back ends of some of these coves or on flats, and you'll see them roaming around everywhere. They're really fast on the screen. They're aggressive. They chase whatever bait you're throwing down there, and there's usually a lot of them. So we caught a ton of those yesterday. And usually I'm targeting them with bass gear, but you can throw rooster tails, small swim baits, rattle traps, smaller crankbaits, and do well on those fish as well. But usually you can throw an Alabama rig or a jerkbait out there, even your crappie tackle, and catch a ton of fish, especially those white bass and wipers. So they put up a heck of a fight. They're fun to catch, and it's a great time to be out on the water. So 2026 is going to be really good here at Lake of the Ozarks. I have a feeling the fish are growing up a little bit. We've got a lot of big crappie. We've got a ton of white bass and hybrids in the system right now, and the bass fishing is getting better. I've noticed the last couple years we're getting more quality fish in the system. We've had a lot of keepers the last couple years, tons of keeper fish, and now we're getting more and more of those big, 3 to 5 pounders like this lake is known for, and we're getting a lot more of those. These lakes cycle through a lot, and this year is going to be a really good year. We're seeing some big weights. We saw big weights all fall, and we're seeing them in the winter, and we're going to see a lot of big weights as far as the bass tournaments go all spring. So got some availability as far as guiding goes, and I've got an awesome, really good looking nitro boat for sale that you guys should check out. I've got it priced good and taking care of it. It's a good boat, got all the Garmin electronics, every option you could think of, and I'm sitting in my brand new nitro right now, and I can't afford to have 2 of them. So somebody needs to come get this thing from me. And if you're interested in going out on a guide trip, just give me a call. We'll set it up. We'll go out and have some fun, catch some fish. So good luck out there. Hope you guys stay safe and catch some big ones this year.